Hello everyone, we are back with another exciting video. The character of Freddy Krueger is completely out of the box. He is not your everyday horror character from classic movies. The character ticks all the right boxes with his terrifying skills, bladed glove, and of course his wisecracking personality. Freddy is also known for his red and green striped dirty old sweater. These are a few elements of his absurd yet unconventional look.
I've been away from my children.
How is it possible for a man who was burned alive to still walk freely? How can he stretch his arms across alleyways, bleed green slime instead of blood, and twist the laws of reality itself? Fascinating and uncanny, almost like a nightmare experiment stitched together from horror and impossible anatomy. It is time to gravely dissect Freddy Krueger, more like a fact-filled yet fun science experiment. Let's find out how he caters to human trepidation. Let's not wait any longer, and we should dive into 15 insane physiological facts about Freddy Krueger. Who is Freddy Krueger? As fans know, there is a mystery and tragedy behind Freddy's death and burn marks. We need to look at where it all started. Freddy Krueger was not a juvenile murderer. He was a child killer from Springwood, Ohio, who escaped punishment because of a legal technicality. The furious parents of his victims then took justice into their own hands, cornered him in his boiler room, and burned him alive. It is dark, barbaric, and super grisly. This is why he is all fired up with his burn marks. The imagery is cryptic, yet important for understanding our villain's persona. That revenge later made him more than just a standard ghost, one there only to scare people. In the 1984 version, the storyline appears to be the same and does not elaborate further on the source of his supernatural powers and abilities. Later films expand Freddy's backstory through his mother, Amanda Krueger, while Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare gives the Dream Demon explanation for his powers. It is the moment when we first see the fully supernatural explanation behind Freddy Krueger. We get to see in the later movies that he has become a dead yet active supernatural predator, empowered by dark forces rather than normal biology. He is neither fully dead nor alive, not human biologically, but sometimes a ghost, part demon, and sometimes a nightmare concept wearing the shape of a man. He still appears in human form in the dreams of his chosen victims.
Get you, my pretty, and your little soul, too!
What does it mean to be a dream demon? We learn in Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare that Freddy is connected to the dream demons, sadistic evil entities from the dreamscape. These demonic forces offer Freddy a way to live on through dreams and keep killing even after death. That does not mean every detail of his powers is scientifically explained, but it does give us the basic rule. Freddy is no longer just a ghost. He is a dead killer empowered by demonic forces inside the dream world. Now, it is amusing to think again about what Freddy is really made of, or what he even is. He is not a random ghost. Freddy is a supernatural being who can operate like a superhuman, be it moving his hands, mocking his victims, controlling dream logic, or mentally restoring himself. Freddy functions like a living organism, only because the dream world allows him to. Freddy's entire anatomy is built to rule the dream state. His body is strongest in the specific medium in which he evolved after his death. Everything weird that his body does, like the stretching, the morphing, and the defiance of gravity, makes total sense once you realize that the human dream is his actual biological ecosystem.
We know what you want.
I want it all!
Of course you do.
Then open up.
How can a burned corpse still function? One thing that makes Freddy unreal and real is his burn marks. Real because it is vividly shown that he was burned alive, and his entire human form is covered with catastrophic burn trauma. Unreal because how is it possible for someone who is this extremely burned to work like a normal human? In medical and scientific terms, it is not possible. Freddy walks, talks, scares, fights, and murders smoothly, as if there is no systemic shock or respiratory collapse. So how is he walking around and cracking jokes? Because his body is absolutely not a healing organism. It is a preserved snapshot of his agonizing death, given motion by a dark supernatural force. Physiologically, his burned design suggests destroyed skin, scar tissue, and damaged facial tissue. His speech and movement still work simply because his body completely ignores normal anatomy. Okay, to make it more realistic, I recommend you check out the 2010 version. There, I must tell you, you are going to get baffled by the level of accuracy the makeup team has put in. The makeup shows a more realistic burn scar approach. To make it even more special, Jackie Earle Haley appears as Freddy Krueger. How does Freddy enter people's dreams? You might think Freddy waits patiently in the dream world and unthinkingly attacks whoever happens to fall asleep. No, that is not how Freddy works. He has his own way of finding and listing his victims, one at a time. His predatory instincts are sharp and scary enough to hit the hay. For Freddy to survive in the realm, he needs to make sure that he leaves his impact on his victims in their dreams. I mean, it is weird and makes no sense in normal human terms, but this is how Freddy functions. Freddy works as a dream demon, and once you doze off, he appears to give you countless nightmares and traumas. This whole esoteric scenario is depicted well in Freddy vs. Jason. It does not matter if you live in a different town or locality. If you are on Freddy's radar, he will hunt you down in your sleep. He will attack your hidden subconscious. The more fear, memory, and belief he creates around himself, the more powerful he becomes. Why do dream injuries become real-world injuries? I know we are all thinking the same thing. We know that whatever we see in our dreams is not real, and that dreams occur during REM sleep. Is Freddy killing for real? Or are the deaths happening due to extreme shock in the nightmare? There are multiple interpretations, but one thing we are sure of is that it is beyond normal science. Physiologically moving the arc, Freddy uses supernatural psychosomatic damage as a weapon. You cannot deny that it is very clever of him to kill his victims this way. It is like attaining eternity with this power. The human brain already controls everything, like your pain receptors, your heart rate, your hormone spikes, and your stress shutdowns. Freddy has a way to kill his prey. He makes sure to trigger the nightmares so intensely that they start hurting the physical body of the victim. One scene that we can make you remember is where Freddy kills Tina. Though he attacks her in her dream, the reaction to the attack starts getting visible on her body and eventually leads to her death. Is the glove just a weapon or part of his anatomy? When Freddy was alive, he carried a handmade weapon in the form of a bladed glove. After his brutal death, the same glove becomes something that we can say is more unnatural and more surreal. One thing that stays with Freddy is his bladed glove. The sharpness and edges of the blades change with Freddy. It means that when Freddy changes his form, the blades can change their form too. If we look closely at the glove, it is almost like a set of claws. One more thing, as Freddy kills in dreams, he does not always need blades or anything sharp. Just the look of it is enough to drag the scream out of his victim's mouth, obviously in his dreams. The glove is not only a weapon anymore. In the dream world, it becomes part of Freddy's identity, his silhouette, and his fear language. It is the thing victims recognize before they even fully see him. What are Freddy's actual limits inside dreams? It is incredibly easy to think Freddy is a completely limitless god when he has you trapped in a nightmare, but he actually has very strict physiological and psychological limits. He is incredibly powerful, but not omnipotent. A Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors proved this beautifully. When highly skilled lucid dreamers realize they can control the dreamscape as well, they can resist him. It is important to know that, in the series, a few characters work hard to fight Freddy. They attack Freddy's dream form by entering with the power of their own dreams. It is like a battle of dreams. This scene is enough to show us that Freddy is powerful, but not invincible. There is a way you can save yourselves from his attack. It is one thumb rule. Do not fear him. Make sure you stay upright and brave. Freddy will start losing control over you and will eventually become weak. The fear coming from his victims works as a fuel for his powers. What happens to the souls of his victims? Freddy does not just kill his victims and leave the bodies behind. By the time we hit Dream Warriors, the films heavily imply and strongly suggest that he actively absorbs or traps the souls of the teenagers he murders, and later films continue this horrifying idea. When Freddy kills his victims, he makes sure to feed on their fear, trauma, and memories to get energy from them. By doing this, he takes away an ounce of their individuality. The victims are not just bodies to him anymore. They become part of his power, part of his nightmare world, and part of the horror that keeps him alive. Does Freddy get stronger the more he feeds? Well, by now it is clear that Freddy is not almighty, but he has his weaknesses. If you see the series chronologically, you will get the very gist of his evolving superpowers. How he chooses his victims, appears in their dreams, finds their vulnerability, scares them, and attacks them until murdering them in their sleep. He exaggerates his power as the series evolves. Fear gives him power, memory keeps him alive, and the energy he takes from his victims strengthens him. Why do his kills get more theatrical over time? If Freddy is going to chop people, why is he not chopping anymore and starting to perform elaborate acts with the glove? By the middle sequels, he is turning people into cockroaches, doing TV deaths, puppet deaths, and killing like he is performing inside a twisted nightmare circus. Is he just showing off? In fact, this is quite telling about what he has turned into. This is a well-developed predatory skill. Fear, extreme humiliation, and psychological breakdown are the elements that feed Freddy's supernatural biology. So it is not just about style, it is about being the most fear-inducing and efficient killer he can be. The more personal, symbolic, and cruel the nightmare setup, the more pure terror he extracts just before the victim dies. He is not only looking for bodies anymore, he is looking to get the most out of every one of them, like a farmer harvesting his produce. Can Freddy be pulled into reality and killed there? If Freddy has superpowers, he uses them as needed. He later encounters weaknesses. Do you want to know what the weakness is? The weakness lies in the boundaries between reality and dream. Sometimes you will find Freddy mortal, sometimes just an illusion or concept. He is powerful in the dreamscape, but far more vulnerable in reality. His physical body is prone to burns, hits, and injuries. To fight back, many victims try to pull Freddy into reality so that they can fight him and save their lives. Does Freddy feel pain, or is pain basically meaningless to him? One thing that makes Freddy strangely human is his reaction to pain. When he gets injured in the real world, he feels the pain. It makes him seem human for a second. Is it not exquisite? But mind you, do not take the whimpering as a sign that he will become human. Rather, it shows that he is not normal. As we know, he has severe burns on his body, making it not fully functional by normal standards. It is a nightmare miracle. It would be an understatement not to mention that there are instances in the series where you can find him enjoying pain. The pain reminds him of his burns and undead soul. Freddy's body is severely damaged but keeps functioning with supernatural resilience. How does Freddy use other people's trauma against them? Freddy is not someone who will attack anyone out of the blue without studying them. He is sharp, witty, and always has a blueprint to raise the fear level of his prey. He jumps on trauma and weakness. His attacks are more psychological than physical. It is scary and mind-numbing for sure. For example, in Freddy vs. Jason, Freddy learns about Jason's childhood fear of drowning. He uses this fear as a weapon. He gets through Jason's mind and finds his weakness to lure him in. Could a real human survive what Freddy survived in life? We know it is highly unlikely for anyone to survive an extreme fire like the one that killed Freddy. It is impossible for a normal human being to get severely burned and then come out as if nothing happened. Freddy died, and whatever comes out of the fire is more like his outline. Something that is neither alive nor dead, something viable and unimaginable. The other person who enters the boiler room would die instantly under those conditions. Imagine the extreme heat. But surely, Freddy did not survive as a normal human. As we mentioned earlier, Freddy is not your average ghost. He is supernatural beyond our understanding. What does New Nightmare reveal about Freddy's true form? Wes Craven's New Nightmare changes how we have understood Freddy's existence so far. This is not just another sequel where regular Freddy comes back again. The film suggests that an ancient evil has taken Freddy's image because Freddy has become the perfect modern boogeyman. The burned sweater, muscles, face, and bladed glove become part of his appearance and identity. Still, we are so hooked on Freddy Krueger. In this version, the human Freddy is not the whole story anymore. What remains is an ancient evil wearing his shape, feeding on fear, insecurity, and imagination. Before, Freddy was just a murderer. After the franchise turned him into a horror icon, New Nightmare suggests that something older and more powerful could use that image as its perfect body. That's it for today. Do not forget to tell us which fact you find most astonishing. Comment with your opinions and make sure you hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you do not miss whenever we come up with fact-filled videos. See you on our next video.